Oh, hello there. Hello. Woo! Yeah. All right, man. Oof, man. Had some sugar and wearing purple, so you know I'm about to be hyper. Hello, folks. Welcome once again back. Actually, welcome back to the Fandom Initiative. Well, it's been a bit of a wild and crazy time so far. We took our break for the holidays, and then we had our extra special episode where we did our review of Hawkeye on Disney Plus, and then our review of Spider-Man No Way Home because I lost my keys in the Uber. Somebody go get me my spare set that's underneath the gargoyle named Bruce. If you get that joke, you get it. Underneath the gargoyle named Bruce up on top of the Chrysler building. But we're back now. We might be doing a couple of pre-recorded episodes just because life and time and things are all over the place with the year. But with New Year's bring changes and growth and evolution and new year, new me, and all of that shit. Actually, no, there's not new year, new me. New year, new purple sweater. Dig on that, baby.
Yeah.
So let's get these introductions out of the way. Let's see how we're doing today. The man across from me, he is the cinema CEO. He is the cinema god. This man is Michael Williams, y'all.
What up, y'all? Happy New Year. All that good stuff. All that good stuff.
Acknowledge his beard, damn it.
Oh my God.
And myself, I am the hungriest man in the room. You can take that however you want. I am the Hungry Bleak. I am here. You can also catch me on the Hungry Bleak podcast, which I will be figuring out the logistics of putting out right now. Again, life is changing. You can also check me out on Sunday nights around 6:30, 6:40 on IG on the Zion Network for my segment, The Lit Pick. Why I said it so harsh. I don't know why I said it so aggressively. Because it's not that aggressive. I don't know why I said it so aggressively. I apologize. I really do.
That was a heel turn move, bro.
That was, oof, bro. Oh, I'm waiting for my heel turn. Oh, bro. Nah, bro, brother, watch out. Watch out, brother. We lose them tag belts and that's it. I'll be like, boom, DDT. That's it. They're like, oh, boom, why? I'm like, you know why?
That was setting up a War Games match.
2 rings? Are you serious? That's more cardio, baby. That's 4 more ropes I gotta run. Damn, baby. That's that cardio, baby. Sir, how are you doing? How is or as we always say, what is life? How are you doing, brother? Are you cold enough, sir?
Yeah, it definitely is cold enough out there today. In the last couple of days, too.
Yeah. I was in New York last weekend, actually.
Okay.
For a just meeting up with a friend. It was very low key. Came into town, left. That went back the next day, left. Let me tell you something. And I was in Harlem for a minute. Let me tell you something. Harlem is the most disrespectful wind I've ever seen in my life. It is the most disrespectful wind. Egregious wind, sir. It was just like the only person who could describe the wind was Jackie Childs from Seinfeld. That's the only dude who could do that. Gee, we should get him as a guest. Anyway, if you know, you know. I don't care. And it was just disrespectful. I was like, what the hell? And yeah, this week has not been kind. Please, if you are out, bundle up, be safe. Please. It's not. I mean, we're joking, obviously, but it's cold. It's like this ridiculous. I know it's wintertime. Damn it! I know that happens every year, but it's still
the Hawk brothers. The Hawk.
That Hawk was sitting there like, I'm gonna swoop on him. He don't even know. Watch. I'm gonna swoop down on him. Watch. Just swoop. I don't even know if that's how a hawk really sounds. Sound more like an eagle. I have no idea. That sounds more like a bald head ass eagle. I have no idea. Here's what we do, folks. We start out with laughter. We talk about some serious stuff sometimes, and we analyze comics and movies and such like series, and then we end with laughter. Because, folks, this is what we do, and we do it extremely well. So tell your friends about it. Make this your auntie's favorite podcast. I don't know why I singled out your auntie like that, but she wears sundresses and she makes a hell of a pie, and I enjoy it. So, brother, there's been a lot going on. A lot of stuff has come out. A lot of stuff has come out. Let's hit on some of the stuff that really hit us, like the bigger things. Let's start with movies as always, brother. You saw this movie. I did not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not. And I know this was a big thing for everybody. And I was like, yeah, I want to check this out. Yeah. Everything that was coming out, and all the comics like came out as well. And again, life choices. But The Matrix Resurrection came out. I don't know why my voice cracked. We're back to that gimmick again. Apparently, that's right before my heel turn is like
exactly.
so, what's a bam DDT, or a super kick through the barbershop window, a la Shawn Michaels, old school. What did you think of The Matrix Resurrections, good sir? This is the fourth movie in the Matrix installment. Let's say
yes. I almost feel ashamed to say that I liked it. Because after all the negative comments that I've seen, or divisive comments, I should say. Well, let's start with the easy stuff. It is meta for everyone who wants to know. Is it a very meta filled movie? It is. You have to have seen all three of the previous entries to kind of get the things that are going on.
Now, would you have had to see the animated anthology also, or no?
Not so much, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, and that pains me to say because I liked the Animatrix.
Yeah, it was really good. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, but yeah, not so much the Animatrix. Although I think, yeah, this is gonna be a hard movie to talk about. I think the sentiment was there to kind of make a really good Matrix film with this fourth film. This film, for me, and this is personal for me because what was the name of the third film?
Matrix
Revolutions.
Yeah, I think Reloaded was the second one.
Reloaded was the second
and
one.
Then
Revolutions was the
Revolution was yes.
Revolutions, I had all kinds of problems with at the end. Like I did not buy the whole notion that Neo would cut a deal with the machines to defeat Smith. It just didn't ring. It didn't ring true to me. Like, even if he didn't believe that he was the one, why would he? You know what I mean? Like, why would he simply do that kind of thing to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna sacrifice myself and work with these guys in order to defeat this guy? But in some ways, Matrix Resurrection kind of redeems the third movie, and that's a lot for me to say.
Yeah,
because I really did not like the ending of Revolutions at all, and there is an explanation as to why that happened, why Neo has been resurrected by the machines, and what happened post that thing happening, as the sequel should do, right?
Right. The way you said it was just perfect. It was like as a sequel should do.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of the things that you've seen in the trailer are I'm trying to find the word that would fit here. They are re-renderings of characters that you know.
All right.
So
All right.
Yahya Abdul Mateen, spoiler alert, Yahya Abdul Mateen
Mm-hmm.
is what was the word that what is the word that Keanu Reeves Mr. Anderson uses in the movie?
Whoa.
No.
No.
Okay, I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can.
All right.
In this film, a new Matrix has been created. Not like the one that you knew from the previous 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
There basically is a new architect who has been given the task of creating a very new Matrix. And in this new Matrix, what he's done is he's made Thomas Anderson, aka Neo,
Right.
has been duped into believing that he created a video game that is what we know the Matrix is previously.
Ah, okay.
And the architect, the new architect, is played by what is this guy's name? Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yes, and Neil Patrick Harris, we don't find out that he is the new architect till towards the end of the movie, but what his dupe character is in this new Matrix is he is Mr. Anderson's psychiatrist. Because people believe that he tried to kill himself at some point in this new Matrix.
Okay.
And he's controlling him with blue pills and all of this stuff. But what happens is that someone from that actual Matrix that's stripped away of all the prettiness of it figures out that Anderson is still out there, that he's alive. And they're trying to understand how he could still be alive when all they've ever known of him is that he's dead. And that person is played by what's her name? Jessica Henwick.
Okay.
She plays a character called Bugs, who actually has come in contact with Mr. Anderson when they thought that he was trying to kill himself, and she saw him as a very different Neo at that point.
Right.
So he kind of inspires her to do all these kind of things, and then you see kind of the first really meta part of the beginning of the movie is it's almost like they're playing scenes from the first movie. Like when they descend upon that building to find Trinity. It's her, Bugs, Jessica Henwick, and it's Yahya Abdul Mateen, but Yahya looks like an agent. He doesn't look like, anything that we're thinking he might look like, right? So they both descend upon this place, and they wind up figuring out this like a pocket room in this building where the whole scene with Trinity kind of happens. And then they're talking to one another, and they're like, well, she looks at him and she's like, you're an agent. How do you know where this room is? And he says that he senses that somehow he's been called to do this. And then he mentions Mr. Anderson's name. He mentions Neo's name as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
And she, you know, they're both having this discussion, and then you realize that the room that they're in, the pocket room that they're in, is the office that Keanu Reeves is in the first movie. That dark office where he's got all those books all over his table.
Yeah.
He's got that computer on his table. Yeah. So what you find out about Yaya is that Yaya is an amalgamation of Morpheus and Agent Smith at the same time. So somehow Neo has created this, in the thing that he created, where he took all the good things about Morpheus, but also took some of the, I don't even know what you want to say about Smith, because Smith sometimes had some really valid points, even though he was a dick. He took some of those things and put them all together in Yahya Abdul Mateen's character. So Yahya is basically a young Morpheus.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other thing that you see in the trailer is you see Jonathan Goff, and some of you know him from, God, how many things. He's from the original Broadway rendition of Hamilton. He's also from Mindhunter on Netflix. He is in this new Matrix. He is Mr. Anderson's boss at a place that ironically is called Deus Machina. That's the place that makes this video game.
It's a little heavy-handed. Okay.
Yeah, but what we find out about him is that he is a re-rendered Agent Smith,
Mm-hmm.
who is still trying to figure out a way to kind of bring down this new Matrix, right? Because he wants out. That's always been Smith's thing. Like, Smith does not want to be locked into this thing anymore. He wants
Right.
out. So the rest of the movie kind of plays with this, for lack of a better term, plays with a kind of a love story between obviously Neo and Trinity, played by obviously the same actress that it was played for in the first three.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie Ann Moss.
Thank you.
They, for some reason, she can't remember Neo. Like, she's married in this new Matrix. She has kids in this new Matrix. She doesn't understand why. She doesn't understand why Neo basically took her face and everything and put her on the Trinity body in his game. And what he says is that he's kind of been watching her in this coffee shop for much longer than the movie lets on. And, you know, they kind of have these conversations and they're kind of trying to get to know one another again in this new Matrix. And another character that pops up maybe in the middle of the film that was just kind of like, wow, I'm like, they brought her back? It's like, they brought back Jada Pinkett Smith's Niobe.
Okay.
Who now is a general in the army in what is it called? In a new city called Io, which is basically become this like newly built city in the Matrix that is free because now they've somehow figured out a way to broker when when Neo brokered the deal with the machines in the third movie, now they have a relationship with these machines.
Mm.
So the machines now kind of are working for them and want to maintain the peace. They don't want to go back to the way things used to be.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the new architect, the new architect has all kinds of nefarious plans in order to kind of keep the war going, and he wants to keep Neo and Trinity apart because when they get together, it's almost like what do I want to say? When those two are together, it's almost like an explosion. Let's say.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's some interesting things that they play with in this movie. Like, it's like my brother talked about how they make fun of bullet time because
Mm.
there is a portion of the movie where they kind of degrade the significance of bullet time in some ways, where it almost feels like what happens almost in everyday life when something is so magical and so good that it almost becomes run into the ground and commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of play with that whole idea that, you know, all the things that the original Matrix kind of brought up and changed in movie making have
Been done to death.
they almost don't feel special anymore.
Mm.
You know, and um yeah, I mean the Matrix Resurrections has a lot to say about where we are in society right now. Almost should we be or should we not even self? Should we be medicating as much as we are? At least with these blue pills and these red pills and how they use them in this
Mm-hmm.
movie. Um has a lot to say about deja vu when we've always had those feelings of deja vu. Like maybe that there's something to that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
What else?
Well, it sounds like they're just really retreading
Yeah,
the moments that really stuck out in the original movie, like the deja vu and
yeah,
bullet time, like things that you go, oh wow, like how do they know what chicken tastes like, or yeah, like the bullet time, which at the time was revolutionary.
yeah.
But
They do, but it's almost kind of how they try and do it, and how it's how they do it. But it's also that they're saying that no matter how much you try to free yourself from these prior convictions, when you say you really want to be free, you almost kind of fall back into those old habits and those old vices without even really realizing that you do it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's always going to be about somebody wanting to control, you, or control your reactions to things.
Mm.
Because this is pretty much why the new architect wanted to rebuild the Matrix, because they didn't want these people. They didn't want anything to be free. You know what I mean? Even though Neo found a way to kind of, circumvent that situation, that's not what that's not ultimately what the machines who were really in control wanted. They didn't want that. You know what I mean? So they had to try and figure out a way to get people to kind of, in some ways, believe that they were free in this new Matrix, but they aren't. And it's interesting because at the very end of the movie, there is this illusion that, and they didn't really say it, but this is how I took it, that Trinity is actually the one and not Neo. Because there's something that Trinity does towards the end of the movie that basically kind of said to me, like, huh, okay, that's interesting. It's interesting what she does. Because there's something that we all know that this guy was able to do in one of the other movies, Neo, and that was fly.
Right.
And that was ultimately like the the culmination of all of his power. Being able to dodge bullets, being able to stop
them,
bullets, being able to do all these other things, fight like second thought, and all that other stuff. But he can't fly in this movie. He tries, but it doesn't happen. And then there is a situation where they are jumping off a building to save themselves. And they're falling, and she's the one that saves him from falling to his death. And he says, it's not me who's doing this. That's literally what he says. He says, it's not me who's saving us from falling. It's Trinity that's doing it. So once that scene is over, they go back to the architect and they basically beat the crap out of the new architect. And they tell him that they are the ones who are going to remake this Matrix going forward. And they're back in their long black coats and all this other stuff. And they're going to be the ones who basically are running things from now on. There are some really interesting things in this movie. I understand why people hated it. I understand why people weren't happy about it being so meta. Remember when I was saying that I wanted it to be this movie within a movie situation a while ago? It kind of is, but it's not at the same time. It's, yeah. And I know it sounds like it sounds weird the way that I'm talking about it. Like, how did you like this movie? I did, because I didn't think it was as bad as people were saying that it was. Because I've seen all three of the movies, and I definitely can tell you that the third one is the movie that I probably hated the most out of all of them. But this one kind of redeems it for me. It redeems that third one because now I understand why Neo makes the choice that he does at the end. Because ultimately, Neo, although he doesn't believe in himself, is really trying to spare everyone pain and suffering by doing what he does. And to see what happens out of that shows that he definitely made the right choice. And that he still kind of has this relationship in this fourth movie, this adversarial but helpful relationship with Agent Smith is also good to see, because the way Jonathan Goff plays Agent Smith in this movie is really, really good. Like, I thought it was going to be a real problem that this guy didn't come back, Hugo Weaving, because he doesn't come back for anything.
Yeah. But, especially after all that time, no, too.
Yeah. But it's the way Jonathan Goff plays sort of a younger, re-resed version of him that's really, really good. Like, really good. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's anywhere you can really go with it. Although, I will say this, I liked Jessica Henwick's character a lot. So now, if they wanted to do some kind of a series with her and her crew, I would be more than okay with it. And that's an
Hmm.
interesting story too. The Jessica Henwick is even in this film because basically what happened is it came down to her making a choice between this and Shang-Chi.
I honestly wish she had been in Shang-Chi.
Mm,
I'll be honest with you. Just because I really
yeah,
I really loved the ending of Iron Fist, the second season. I really enjoyed it,
but I
which
think
ended up being his last season.
yeah, but I think in Shang-Chi she would have been playing his sister. And that's the reason why I didn't want
Ooh.
her to play that role. I
Mm.
want her to come back as Colleen Wing.
Oh, so she wouldn't have been Colleen Wing. Oh,
No.
yeah, no, because I loved her as Colleen Wing, and I loved her as the new Iron Fist
Yeah.
in Colleen Wing.
Yeah.
I love that. I just enjoy her in general. She brings a nice
Mhm.
spark to the screen, and no matter what she's in,
No,
she
absolutely.
just has yeah, she just brings a spark to things. So I'm definitely on board with her being in whatever or wherever. But not the sister. She's a great Colleen Wing and a
Yeah.
great Iron Fist
Oh
because we
yeah.
had two seasons
Yeah.
of lackluster Iron Fist
Exactly.
in Daniel Rand. You know,
Exactly.
so cool. So out of five, what how many reels would you give this
I'm
resurrection?
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it 3.5 reels. And
Okay.
I'm gonna take off the 1.5 because again, I think the problem with when you want to do sequels like this is that the longer you wait, it really becomes a problem, right? Because I mean, a lot of people haven't gone back to rewatch any of those Matrix movies in a while. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's no longer fresh in your head, and it requires you to kind of go back and
Sometimes going
rewatch.
back ain't good. To be
Yeah,
honest with you.
and that's the problem. Like going back to watch the three previous Matrix films is hard, right? Because the first one is so good, the other two just don't. They just don't hold a candle to that first one. They really don't. And if you don't like the second and third one, you probably will not like this fourth one at all. You know what I mean? But
That's understandable. You know,
oh,
I mean,
and
they.
yeah, and we were talking just before the show. Antonio and I were talking, and I said that there was one random cameo from a character from the previous films that if you had not seen these other movies before you'd seen this movie, you would not know who it was. Remember the remember the French guy,
Yeah, yeah.
the Merovingian?
Yeah.
Yes, the guy that plays the Merovingian returns in this movie playing the Merovingian, except he still has an axe to grind against Neo because Neo brought down the old Matrix, and the Merovingian is basically a pauper in this new Matrix, where they were the oldest, most influential family in the previous Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
He literally looks like hell in this movie. And he's just like rambling about being angry with Neo that Neo ruined his life and all this stuff. It's crazy.
Mm.
That's what I mean by meta. Like if you didn't understand what the Merovingian was from the previous movie, you would not have known why he's in here screaming at Neo while he's fighting. It's insane. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, it'll be back up on HBO Max probably in probably like 2 months or so. That seems to be their
Yeah,
time
yeah.
basis from when they do a direct, um, like a simultaneous release as in theaters and on HBO Max. Then when it comes off, because it just came off, I want to say Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thursday because nobody came on Friday. So that seems to be the time frame with that. So it'll be back because they just came back with some of the movies that were released during the summer,
Yeah.
like Suicide Squad and
Mm.
a few other movies. So it'll be back again. I'll watch it then. I was trying to watch the first movie and I just was like, yeah, I'm good. I was just tired. I didn't. It doesn't hold up well, unfortunately, with all the technology finally caught up to the Matrix movies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now you look at them and you're like, there things are running to the ground that have been done that are no longer done anymore. So watching them now, I'm like, yeah, this was the first movie to do it. It's great, but I'm still like, all that black. God damn, it's
Yeah,
draining. Jesus
yeah,
Christ. It's
yeah.
just it's
And I think and I understand what Leonard Wachowski tried to do with this movie, right? To kind of be like, okay, this thing was a phenomenon, and now look at what it is. It's almost like the butt of a joke now, The Matrix. You know what I mean? Like, and I know what.
no, that would be Jupiter Ascending.
Well, that too, but I think I know what she was trying to do with it. I just think that there was probably a better way to do it, and probably should have been done a few years previous than to do it now.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like so a couple of months I'll watch. Actually will try to watch the other movies because they still are on HBO Max, which I think was a great thing. They put the original trilogy on,
Mm-hmm.
and then put this movie so you can try and catch up because it has been so long. So they knew what they were doing with that. So
Mm-hmm.
eventually, I'll watch
Mm-hmm.
it when it's on TBS Superstation.
Yeah.
Um, maybe because those commercial breaks are a killer. So we also have Eternals. For real, I see commercials now, and I'm like, skip that mess, man. The hell out of here. Eternals is on Disney Plus. Now I think it came up last week. I want to say.
Yes.
So it's great because you get to rewatch and stuff like that. So the three most recent ones are up there now. So you have Black Widow, you have Shang-Chi, and now
Mm-hmm.
you have Eternal. So now we're getting this whole second wave of people who are complaining about the movie, which is what I love. Thank you so very much, social media. It's outstanding. I love it. I didn't understand this. Okay, great, cool. You didn't get it. That's cool, or you didn't like it. Whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
I understand. It's not like the movies. Great, awesome. Thank you for your time. Uh, don't give a fuck. I'll be honest with you. Like that second wave is like COVID. I'm like, oh, let's just get it over with. I'm
The
still wearing my mask.
second wave.
Fuck. It's just kills me. Morbius has been delayed yet again. I believe April 1st is going to be the next date. It was supposed to release this weekend, I believe,
Yes.
and I was ready to watch it. But I didn't have a T-shirt for it, so I guess it gives me time to get a T-shirt for it.
Yeah, brother, I don't know.
I
This
still want to
makes
see
me.
this, but
I still want to see it, but this makes me worried that this movie's not good.
between this and then Batman being like 5 hours long, Jesus,
Yeah,
you're killing
I
my
heard about
you
that.
you you're you're killing my bladder, guys. Seriously, I almost yearn for a movie that's 120. Like that's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, download your Run Go Pee app.
Uh, AKA, I'm going to the bathroom whenever I damn well want. When that high C is hitting the sun, I'm like, whoop. Guess I'm gonna be missing this whole reveal scene because I gotta go pee.
This whole diatribe.
Yeah. So when's a good time? Now in the climactic battle? I guess so. I remember during Avengers having to run during the credits. You know what it's like to try to run when you're full of high C, popcorn, and you're gassy. I almost knocked over a toddler. I did not care about that young baby's life. So yeah, that's been delayed. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't. Which is actually kind of a good thing because there has been a surge. I kind of don't want to be in theaters right now, especially because, as you all know, if you follow me on social media, which if you do, you're rather brave and patient. Every time I went, people were sitting next to me. I was like, just why are you here? Right on my back. Oh, if nobody else sits here, then we'll move down the seat. You shouldn't even be sitting next to me, dummy. Hoop dreams over here, 7 foot tall. Oh yeah, we're gonna move your legs, jackass. In streaming and TV news, yes, folks, I do just get angry and then just drop it because I don't have the energy. We got the first full trailer for Moon Knight.
Yeah.
This is going to be a Disney Plus series. This is the next in the installment. This is going to be in March, I believe. It's going to be releasing.
Yes, sir.
If you're not familiar with Moon Knight, first off, is not Marvel's Batman. Is not. They're two different things altogether. Actually, they're very different things. One is a guy who is an orphan, 1%er whose parents were murdered, and he decides to go around the world learning skills. And then he goes back to his city to clean it up, and he just ends up beating up transients in the street, telling someone to talk. Meanwhile, he just broke your clavicle, and you're in shock, and creating supervillains. Although the Batman, the new movie does look great, even though it's going to be 18 hours long. So you know, and no intermission. So I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of pee on the floor, folks. Moon Knight is actually a character who is supposedly resurrected by an Egyptian god named Khonshu, and he becomes his fist, his uh his his priest of vengeance, his weapon. He actually is called the Fist of Khonshu because he is about vengeance. This character is also different because Moon Knight has three personalities to begin with. So he has DID, dissociative identity disorder, which was formerly known as multiple personality disorder. So you may hear the name Steve Grant, you may hear the name Jake Lockley, and you hear the one that he's most known by, Mark Spector. There's also a new series that is out. I believe issue 7 just came out this week. I want to say issue 7. So issue 7 is going to be the beginning of the next arc, but you can catch the previous arc, which is 1 through 6. Beautifully done. Love it. Really great. A lot of people aren't familiar with Moon Knight, which is kind of cool because you're going to be introduced to a new character that you're not really known. He's been an Avenger. He's been a West Coast Avenger. He's been a secret Avenger for points. And we get Oscar Isaacs, obviously, incredibly talented. Man, last time we saw him was in Dune, I think was the most recent movie he's done.
Yes, sir.
Dune. I finally got to see A Most Violent Year a couple weeks ago. And damn, yes, obviously. I mean, as Mark Spector. We're also getting Ethan Hawke is also in this movie, and unfortunately, one of the stars of the movie actually passed last week. Gaspard Willier. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. If I'm not butchering, I apologize. He actually died recently in an accident, and he was going to be a part of this movie as well. He was playing Anton Bogart, I believe is the character's name. I'm trying to remember who that character is in the comic. This is going to be something that's going to be really revolutionary. He's much more brutal than Batman. I'm interested to see how they do the brutality with this character on Disney Plus and how far they're willing to go as far as violence. I know Disney Plus has been a little more mature than the movies, even though in Eternals we finally had a love scene. I mean, it was a full-on nudity, folks. Don't go, hey, it wouldn't know. But we finally got that. So I'm interested to see how they go, where they go, and this looks like a totally different way of doing it and how he's introduced. And you'll see the character in the trailer, you see the character blacking out at times and waking up and going, oh my God, that's the DID being active. I'm excited for this. I'm ready for it. The suit looks ridiculous, and I love that. It looks just and ridiculous. I mean, in a good way, because it's not an easy suit to do. I'm here for it. Run it. Let's do it. I get to sit at home and watch this. I don't have to go to a theater. Sign me up. I'm good. Brother, what'd you think of the trailer? And are you familiar with the character
I
at
am
all?
not.
Or okay.
I mean, I know I've heard of him.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
You know, I can't say that when I was younger it was necessarily, you know, anything that I kind of read regularly. But I like the trailer a lot because hell, it's Oscar Isaacs. Who doesn't like that guy?
Well, that
um, yeah, and of course Ethan Hawke, because Ethan Hawke can be anything or nothing at the same time. But
exactly.
I'm really interested in seeing where this goes. I'm with you. I'm very interested in seeing how they showcase the violence here.
Yeah.
I think we kind of have a clue as to how they're gonna do a lot of it, because it seems like there's that one scene in the trailer where he is pummeling somebody on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that is probably going to be shot from, I would imagine, from behind,
Mm.
so that you kind of get the impact that someone is getting their ass kicked, but you're not
Yeah.
necessarily seeing blood flying all over the place and stuff like that. Um, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how Oscar Isaacs is going to pull this off. I have all the confidence in the world that he's going to be great in this. I have all the confidence in the world that Ethan Hawke is going to be great in this. Um, yeah, and look, I am all for different. We need different. I've been saying this forever. Like, we need different this time around, and I know that there's some people who kind of aren't on board with that. You see it in their comments about certain things, but this chapter of the MCU needs to be different. It just needs to, and I'm okay with it.
Well, you have to have different in order to tell new stories. I mean, if you want the same
Yeah,
old thing, you can always go back and rewatch the old stuff. That's the
yeah,
great thing about Disney Plus. You can go back and or if you have the DVDs, or if you have it on, whatever system you have, you
hmm,
can always go back and watch it. So that's a beautiful thing there.
yeah,
But you have to, and seeing them tap into the darker stuff lately
hmm,
with What If and
hmm,
that Doctor Strange, and with this is great because this character is incredibly. At a certain point, the character actually, when you're someone that he goes after, he'll carve a crescent moon in your forehead with one of his blades.
hmm,
I don't think they're going to show that. They
hmm,
might show someone with a scar maybe there
hmm,
afterwards to show that he was one of the criminals that he beat up.
hmm,
But I don't think they're going to show him carve. If they do, like a la Inglorious Bastards,
hmm.
I'm there for it. Bet. Oh, I didn't know y'all was going. Now I see why you raised your price of Disney Plus. Okay, I'm good. I got no problem. It's still under $10. Okay, cool, great. I have no
Mm,
problem with it. And there's actually a character that actually has. I think that there's Mark cuts a character's face off and actually throws it back onto him, and the character's like a ghost, a specter. So yeah, this is a very violent
mm,
character.
mm,
But it kind of straddles the fields of supernatural and the darker crime street level
mhm,
aspect of things, which is what they're starting to get into with uh, the multiverse of madness.
mhm,
So I want to see where they go with this. I'm interested. Like I said, this is one of my favorite characters, and it's getting some shine now, which is great. I love what these Disney series are being able to spotlight characters that you may go, oh yeah, that's a really cool character, but you may not have really known or seen or read.
mhm,
Now you're getting into it. And like I said, there's a new series out. It's only 7 issues in, but all the previous stuff is there. They have like the Masterworks tomes, which is like all his original stories. Like he started out as a werewolf hunter,
mm,
going after on Werewolf by Night, and then I think he went and beat up Spider-Man. And there's this rivalry between him and the Punisher Frank Castle. So if we ever get to go into it, because they have this one interaction where they're talking and he goes, hey Mark, still crazy? And he goes, oh yeah, sure. Hey Frank, is your family still dead? They have that type of animosity,
mhm,
but this bond of being killers.
mhm,
And there's this whole psychological thing too with him, especially with the DID, and the fact that you have this god who may or may not actually be there talking to you.
mhm.
which we see glimpses of that when he's in the elevator with the
Mm-hmm.
"I lost my contact" scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust Oscar Isaac to do that role and to be able to split between the action and the psychological part and
Mm-hmm.
the subtle nuances of having three different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to get great actors to do multiple personality roles. We've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Orphan Black, Doom Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
So we've seen that. So I'm excited. This one's going to be, like I said, I want to say March, the middle of March. I want to say
Mm-hmm.
possibly. Can't remember the title, the date exactly, but yeah, that one's going to be a fun one. I will be tuned into that one. Might even need another Moon Knight T-shirt, honestly, or a hoodie, something. I don't know, something Moon Knight. Next, we have Naomi. This has been one that was really talked about on the CW. This brought me back to the CW. I'm not watching anything else on the CW. I because I can't. I just can't. Jeez, just can't. But you give me something. But when you show me the name Ava DuVernay, I'm there. I'm in. Um, this is a character that debuted a couple years ago in DC Comics' Wonder Comics line. This was Naomi, Young Justice, and Wonder Twins. That line is no longer around, but they are doing a second arc for Naomi now, but they're calling it season. So you have season one of the comic book series, and coming out, I want to say in the next couple weeks is going to be season two, which is going to start. But right now we're in season one of the actual CW series. This is from creators David F. Walker, uh, Brian Michael Bendis, and Jamal Campbell. It's outstanding writing and art. This is basically a story of Naomi, who is this young uh, black girl um, who is a super fan of Superman. Didn't mean to even say it like that. That was totally by accident. Didn't mean to use super twice like that. But anyway, and she has like this social media club and everything where she talks about him and she films everything, and she lives in this little town. And every so often there's this superhero fight where Superman will be there and he's fighting this whoever his baddie of the week is, and then he flies away. So she gets that on tape and she puts up on her site and on social media and such like that, what have you. And one day this happens again, but she misses it because she passes out in the series. It in the CW series it happens and passes out. She can't figure out why. It's the second time she's passed out, and then you come to find out what's the mystery of her. Who is she? Because she finds she's been adopted, but she finds out that she's adopted on the same day that there was this like meteor crash, UFO crash. You don't know, and the big mystery is who is she? Where does she come from? Her trying to figure this out, and it goes like it starts once, but and it goes out, and it hits a lot of the DC universe in the series so far. We're finding it out in the second episode because there are only two episodes so far as of this recording. We hear the word that I truly enjoy. We hear the word. There's a character named D who's in the comic as well. He knows, and he's been looking out for her. He's been like kind of from the shadows, and he goes, "Well, there's a metal that was used to create his wings." He shows wings, and he goes, "This there's a metal, and it's from my planet." And he goes, "It's Thanagar." Bet you got me. You got me, and it's a person of color too. Character's name is excuse me, the actor's name is Alexander Wraith. Cool name. God, it's so good. But we have Casey Wallfall is playing Naomi McDuffie. McDuffie is not a coincidence. That name was picked especially obviously because of Dwayne McDuffie, Maestro, who is so influential and who is still so beloved, and we still get a lot of his ripples in there. Her parents are played by Barry Watson, name you haven't heard in a while, returning back to CW. Also, we have Mausa Makar. Hope I'm saying her name properly. Uh, it just goes, and it's her and her friends, and it's like her trying to figure this out, and she gets her friends involved as well. The biggest thing that stuck out to me is the fact that it is a young black girl who is not this awkward, shy, nerdy girl in the corner. She's somewhat popular. She's running the superhero, the Superman like fan club that she's got out. She's skateboarding through the streets, incredible. She's unapologetically black as well, and she's popular. So she's nerdy, she's black, she's doing skateboard, she's doing the social media thing, she's doing like superheroes. She's really smart, she's nerd, everything is there. I love that fact that she's not a wallflower. I love that she has friends, and I believe she's bi as well in the series. I'm not sure if she's bi in the comics, but I loved all of this about her. It breaks that mold of always seeing the wallflower and you're slipping the glasses up and all that. I absolutely love the fact she was unapologetic. She was out there. She's popular. She doesn't have like that social awkward anxiety thing like that. She's confident and she wants to know who she is and where she's coming from. So I actually loved it. Like I said, it's only 2 episodes in, so you have time to jump on board. I don't believe it's on HBO Max yet. It probably will be once this first season is out. Go read the comic as well. Really well done, fleshed out character. The art by Jamal Campbell, always diabolical. He also did the art for Far Sector. Yeah, this brought me back to CW, but I'm not watching anything else on CW. I just can't do it. I fucking refuse.
Okay.
I won't. Yeah, this is just fun. It's just yeah, it's like a breath of fresh air, man. Just dig that. Just everything's so tight ass. Just some things are just so dark. You know what I mean?
Uh,
To have something light but I also attribute that to Ava DuVernay.
hmm.
You show me her, and yeah, she'll get me back to the CW.
Oh, it's good they finally let her do something, since they canceled the New Gods.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that she has some type of deal with them. I'm guessing, or they
Mm,
were like, okay, this isn't going to go through, but we're going to do this.
mm,
How would you like to be a part of that? Which
mm.
was exciting to me. So I'm glad she got to do something. Um, and then we have Peacemaker on HBO Max. All right, I don't I don't even know how to describe. You know what? This is a sentence that I use a sentence similar to this for Army of the Dead.
Mm.
This is the most James Gunn that James Gunn has ever James Gunn while still being James Gunn. And this isn't and this is just the beginning of James Gunn while James Gunning. Bet that's he directed I think the first 3 episodes.
Mm.
I think he's written the whole series, but he directed the first 3 episodes, and you can tell this is James Gunn. This is him. Okay, so this takes place after Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
We had the character of Peacemaker, Chris Smith, played by John Cena, who this is like if you know him, loyalty, hustle, respect, then you know. If you know him for wrestling and everything like that, be prepared. Be prepared. He's dropping f bombs. Like there's a lot. Like he takes what happened in Suicide Squad
Mm.
and he ramps up because he's the lead now. So this is him after the events of Suicide Squad and Starro and killing Flag, and he's in the hospital and he still has the bomb in the back of his head. So he's like, oh, and they're releasing him. And he's like, have the cops been here looking for me? And they're like, no, nobody's looking for you. Nobody cares. He's like, all right, bet. So he's like hiding out, trying to run and be stealthy, still while in the Peacemaker costume,
Mm.
the white pants, the boots, the red
Mm.
yellow shirt, the piece of dove upon his shirt, sir, and goes home to his father, who is played by oh my god, Robert Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
who we know as the T-1000.
Yes.
Yes, and also from X-Files.
Yes.
Uh, who is just a horrible person, and you see why his son is the way he is, but it turns out his father's like a white supremacist.
Mm.
He's got an elderly neighbor that keeps calling Peacemaker a supervillain, and he's like, "No, I'm not supervillain." He's like, "Yeah, but you look who your father is." It's this really dark black comedy with actually some really great action scenes, which is no surprise because John Cena was wrestling for how many years?
Mm-hmm.
Really great cast. I'm loving it. You do see a cameo of Amanda Waller in the first episode, which links to more. Um, there are 4 episodes in. When it first premiered, it was 3 episodes were out. Like I said, James Gunning, while James Gunn wrote those three, directed the three. He wrote episode 4 as well. Like I said, I think he wrote all the episodes. Um, But this, I want to. The person who I really enjoy is Danielle Brooks.
Mhm.
She plays one of the new agents. We have Steve Agee, who came back as John Economos, the hacker, the
Mhm.
one who I think he's the one that hit Amanda Waller in
Mhm.
Suicide Squad. I think, can't remember. Um, a cat I didn't know about, but I want to look him up more. Um, Chukwudi Iwoji, who plays Clemson Murr, who is like the leader of this group of agents,
Mhm.
who are looking for quote unquote butterflies. Their whole thing is you're going to kill these butterflies, but Peacemaker's having this thing. His thing is I want peace at all costs, no matter how many men, women, or children I have to kill. I will get peace at no cost. I don't think he understands what the word peace means, and it's him having this crisis of him not being able to kill. And how does a killer on a team of where his whole goal is to be a killer, how does he work with that not being able to kill? We also get an incredible character who is judo master. The character is like maybe 5 foot,
Mhm.
whoops everybody's ass,
Mhm.
and eats flaming hot Cheetos
Okay.
as like a snack. It's just, and if you have not done anything else, watch the opening of this series.
Mhm.
The title sequence opening is so ridiculous and so James Gunn that it makes sense. He also has a pet, which is his sidekick and his best friend named Eagly, which is an eagle
Mhm.
named Eagly. Didn't really think about the name too much, obviously. Dark, raunchy, a lot of sex jokes in here, a lot of dick jokes, a lot of ass jokes. Definitely, this is probably the most DC thing that I can understand because it's the most darkest, most mature rated thing that I've seen from DC so far. It got me. John Cena got me with this, and it's so over the top, but it's yeah, it actually is good in this weird, absurd way. It's good.
Mhm.
I'm definitely hooked. I am, and I this is something I did not think I would care about. I was watching it, and I had to rewind scenes to make sure I got it because I was like, I know they didn't say that, and they did.
Mhm.
Um, and I think there's you actually see some development from the character, although it is very slow and very stilted. You see some development from the character as well. John Cena also has a sex scene. I did not expect that at all. I did not expect him to give somebody the five knuckle shuffle or the you can't see me or the attitude adjustment, the sex scene. I
Mhm.
didn't, but yeah, something about this series is really. This is perfect for HBO Max. This is what they should be doing. Out of their stuff like this, just go to the wall. The DC comics are dark. If you're going to do DC stuff, DC comics are dark. They are way darker than Marvel. Don't try to be that the lighter side and whimsical and that light banter. Go darker. That's where you have an orphan that beats up people in the middle of the night. Go with this. So yeah, funny, bloody, violent, but that opening sequence when you watch, if you don't watch the series, watch the opening sequence tonight.
Mhm.
It's so off the top, and it introduces you to all of the characters that will be in the series. Oh, and they actually bring in Vigilante as well. Um, the second Vigilante, I think it was, because the last Vigilante was black. This guy's not black. He's their Deadpool. Actually, this whole series is Deadpool. Truthfully, this whole oh god, James Gunn doing Deadpool. Jeez, oh my god, this is basically he's like their Deadpool almost,
Mhm.
but not with the powers or anything like that, and just starting out. Um, but yeah, it's off the wall, wacky, crazy, funny as hell at sometimes too.
Mhm.
I yeah. But watch the opening sequence, if anything. That shows you everybody that's going to be in this series that's a main character, I guess would be the way to say it. But yeah, out of 5, I'll give it a 4.5.
Wow.
I'm gonna be honest because it caught me so off guard. I'm like, what the and I was like, all right, James Gunn, you got me. I don't even know what to say.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean they've even got Lachlan Monroe, who's like one of those like C level, I think he's Canadian, actors that you see in everything. So when he popped up, I was like, oh shit, all right. All right. So Lachlan is in. So Lachlan's got a contract. All right, cool, bet. And these 2 FBI agents, or I think they're FBI agents or cops that are trying to get Chris to put him back in the jail, but the hacker was being so lazy, he changed the fingerprints to, and you would figure he would do them for anybody. Like he would change the fingerprints to somebody who was distant from Chris. He changed the fingerprints to his father, so his father gets framed and his father gets sent to jail. And they're like, you're really this lazy? You couldn't have done anybody else. And he was like, I was under pressure. He was like, what pressure? So yeah, a 4.5, man. Serious. I don't. It might go up to 5 next week. It might go down to 3. I have no idea. But so far, these 4 episodes, wacky, crazy, and it's something that I feel like is needed. It's just out there.
Interesting.
Dude, John Cena is I know he can be funny, but this is like some adolescent, just bull, like just him just being ridiculous. Yeah, total shock, total surprise. Did not expect this.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that's everything. But like I said, there's been so much. I mean, oh my god, there's Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Came
that
out.
yet.
I watched the first episode. It was good. We had season 2 of The Witcher.
Yes. Oh yeah, I finished that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I'm waiting for the prequel series, which is live action. I thought it was going to be animated, but it's going to be live action. What is it? Blood Origins, I think it was.
Yes, Blood Origins.
I'm waiting for that. I'll rewatch the movie. Honestly, I don't care. Just because that animated movie is so damn good.
Oh, that's a movie I want to talk. Well, that's a movie I want to mention to people who maybe don't know about it yet.
What is it?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yes. Yeah,
I
when is that coming out?
That's probably not coming out officially until late February or early March. But
cool. That's still sooner than what I was expecting. Cool, because that just looks
I got to see it. I won't tell you how I got to see it, but I got to see it the other day, and yeah, brother.
Yeah, and this is from A24.
Yes,
but A24 hasn't really done that action.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. You ready? Guess who it's produced by?
Who?
The Russos.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yep.
That honestly makes sense.
Yep.
Honestly, yeah, that honestly makes sense because they haven't.
They
haven't really done that with them, and to know that it's A24 and then the Russos, and then you have Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about multiverse movies.
This looks incredible. Like when I saw her, I was like, okay, cool. And then I heard multiverse, I was like, okay.
Yeah, this is just so well done, brother. Like, if you're gonna do a multiverse movie, just go for it. Because it's never gonna make it's never gonna make complete sense to everyone.
Yeah.
So don't try to fall into that trap of trying to make it make sense so that people can digest it.
Yeah,
properly.
There was one podcast that tried to do that shit. Stupid asses.
No, just go for it.
That's the whole point.
Throw everything at the wall and hope that it sticks.
Yeah,
and it does. This movie is amazing, dude. Like there are things that they do that other movies wouldn't dare do in this film. Like it's just
because the trailer came out what like a couple of months ago, like 2 or 3 months ago. I think I want to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And when I watched that, I forgot even how I even saw the trailer. I think I
Mhm.
was just on YouTube looking at it, and I think it was there,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, let me. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, yo,
You know what's
this is
interesting about
awesome.
this movie, and I don't know why I had that feeling while I was watching it, but it almost kind of has a. I don't know if you like this movie, brother. Scott Pilgrim versus the World kind of vibe.
I've seen that movie like 1,000 times.
Yeah, it has
It's
that
it
vibe.
it's Edgar Wright. Yeah, of
Right, it
course.
has that vibe, but it's not Scott Pilgrim at all. Like
Mhm.
it's just like I can't even describe it to you, brother. You have to see it.
It's basically like the gist of it is
Yes.
um different versions of Michelle Yeoh,
Yes.
like as a character, like not like Michelle Yeoh the
Mhm,
actress, like different
mhm,
in different in the multiverse.
mhm,
That's all you really need to know. And the fact that it's A24,
mhm,
and there's a story obviously, but then just the fact that A24 is doing something, and it's not all action obviously, but the fact
mhm,
that they're doing something that has action in it like that,
mhm,
I haven't seen from them
mhm,
that I can think of.
mhm,
Nothing martial arts related that I can think of off the top of my head.
mhm.
So seeing that, and then the Russos and stuff like that, having all that together, yeah. I mean, if you haven't yet, go check out the trailer.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't remember how the hell I saw it. I don't remember how. You know what? I think it may have been something on maybe IG, and then I looked up the trailer on YouTube and I watched it, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? And I was like, yo, this is
Yeah.
crazy. And it
Yeah.
just looks great. I go check it out. If you're a Michelle Yeoh fan, definitely watch that trailer, because you're also going to be getting her in The Witcher Blood Origins.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, she's just,
Yeah,
and also
I'm
Gunpowder Milkshake. She was in that too. So go
yes,
watch that.
yes,
That is actually available to
yes,
watch, but you can
yes,
go watch the trailers for the other stuff now.
yes.
Then go back and watch that. I
I
think she's also in what's the name? Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2, which is also on Netflix, because that was a Netflix movie, which I
yes,
don't think a lot of people even know was out there, but it was actually good.
yes.
I liked it.
He's also on Star Trek Discovery if you guys are
Yes,
interested in watching that show.
I
He's
am. I'm
really,
trying.
really good in that show.
I am interested in watching it. I would love to watch.
I'm gonna
Just
go. I'm gonna. Yeah, I know, brother. I know you have no hard time. I know. Um,
damn.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, brother, and say I don't know if this movie's gonna be nominated or not, but she should be for her role in next year's Oscars. She definitely should be because it's just it's it's the most different thing that I've ever seen Michelle Yeoh do. Like,
Yeah,
and I love Michelle Yeoh. Like Michelle Yeoh is like royalty to me.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like she doesn't do that many films, but when she does films or she does TV, she is. You can see why she picked that particular thing to do.
yeah. It's always spot on. Like it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
and it's just brilliant, dude. What she does with it is amazing. Like, it's
Yeah.
just amazing to me. And I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know, brother.
Like
I
it's
don't
one of
know.
those things that when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, bet, because
Yeah.
I wanted to see something different. The closest you can get to this, I guess, multiverse wise, I guess, in essence, anyway, is Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah, which
closest
is interesting. Yes.
that you're gonna get
Yes.
those two. So,
Which is very interesting that you bring that up. Yes.
but when an actor plays either someone with DID or multiple or like multiple versions of themselves, as far as like a
Hmm.
multiverse, that's always interesting to see how they take their own nuances and
Hmm.
stuff and maybe accentuate it to another character, or
Hmm.
dull it down for that character, and whatever they do in that, just to make each character a little different version of
Hmm.
themselves. Like that's always cool
Hmm.
to see. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, maybe I'll just watch on my damn tablet since I can't watch it on my TV. Paramount. It's the only thing they won't let me watch. I don't know why. It's so weird. And I can't really binge watch anything, so I can't watch 5 episodes of something, because if I try, It'll start the episode, then it'll cut out the
Mhm.
last 15 minutes. Then it'll
Mhm.
start the new episode, and I'm like, wait, hold on, wait. I didn't catch. I don't know if
Yeah,
y'all knew, but I
yeah,
didn't watch the last episode. Did y'all know that? So,
yeah,
so y'all
yeah,
didn't care.
yeah.
And then they'll ruin it by doing the recap,
Yes.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
so y'all just said y'all don't care about my life. Bet. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So yeah. So folks, that was this week's show. Um,
We went through the show and didn't even talk about Euphoria, brother, which is also back.
brother, I think we're gonna have to do like a whole other
A
like episode.
retrospective.
Yeah, because I mean, I was watching, I was like, yo, this is like, and people are starting to get hip to it now, and I'm like, where y'all been? Where y'all been?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's because of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Also, that it just, but everybody in that cast is hitting it so well. Like, yeah, that's something that we're gonna have to discuss. In like, I don't know if I want to wait till the end of the season
Mm.
because that's a show that you need to have like an actual discussion. Like, it can't be bits
Mm.
because then the next episode is like, oh wait, that's here, and then, oh wait, we have
Mm.
to go, and they all weave in so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are only 2 episodes in, because it started like 2 weeks ago. So the new episode is going to be tomorrow as well. I mean, there's also Yellow Jackets. Like, those are 2 series I do want to have a discussion on, both those series.
Yeah, I gotta
Yellow
watch Yellow
Jackets,
Jackets.
which last episode messed me up. I was like, wait, hold on.
Mm.
It's the fact of the basis of Yellow Jackets is, and it's based in Jersey, which is funny.
Mm.
This high school soccer team, a girls soccer team, is going to nationals, so they have to take a flight, and I forget, it's like in the middle of, I don't know where the hell nationals is for them, and their plane crashes, and they're in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness. Now, when I was seeing it, I was like, oh, they're probably lost for like 9 months or whatever. They're gone for 19 months. That's a year and 7 months. That's almost 2 years. The amount of time that they were gone is what hooked me. Then the actresses that I saw,
Mm.
Juliette Lewis and Christina Ricci, have the best scenes together.
Mm.
I don't know if they're best friends in real life, but they should be,
Mm.
because their scenes are crazy. It mixes mystery and horror and trauma in this really great way. It's definitely something to watch. It's 10 episodes in, but it's a great binge and it flies through. If you were a fan of the 90s, you'll get a lot of 90s references and you'll love it. And the way they don't really do flashbacks and such like that, or flash forwards, they'll have the stories kind of running together, so it seems flawless. It's not like you're jolted back where the character's thinking and you go, the year is 1990, whatever,
Mm.
like that. They're
Mm.
done flawlessly, and the young actors that are playing the older characters, or the characters that are in our time now,
Mm.
the crazy, absolutely amazing. Love it. This series is great. One of the best things on Showtime, honestly. It actually took my, because I was starting to watch Dexter, then I watched this. This took over my mindset from Dexter. I watched the first episode of New Dexter, didn't even finish it,
Mm.
because Yellow Jackets is so damn good,
Mm.
and horror wise. Yeah, those are 2 things that are getting me on Sundays: Euphoria and Yellow Jackets. And I get to what Yellow Jackets shows up early on the Showtime app, so I can watch it like early in the day. Euphoria doesn't. Euphoria shows up on the next day.
Mm.
Because I'm not watching that when they tell me. I'm gonna watch it when I want to. The hell out of here! I'm a grown ass man, dog. I'm a grown ass man.
Whoever created Yellow Jacket sounds like that they liked reading a book in high school called Alive.
It's like, you think of Alive and then Lord of the Flies,
but
then more.
Yeah.
It like add like more of a horror aspect of it, but it's it definitely, man,
that's
it's
what
out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I immediately thought when I saw the trailer for it. I was like, wow, this feels like Alive.
But it goes it
Yeah.
Because what happens in current time, you're like, oh my god, and it's not, you don't know what's going on. I mean, you know what's going on, but there's always some trip where you're like, shit.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, damn it, because
Yeah.
you're upset for them. You're like, shh. And there's stuff that happens to them, and there's a high school reunion, and I'm sitting there. and I'm like, I don't want to go to this high school reunion. They don't want to go to it, but they go to it for it's just really well done. Jump back into the first season of Billions because I wanna, but I know it's like at like season 85, so I got a long way to go. I have a long way to go with everything. I'm not even gonna whatever.
I finished Alive, literally, dude. I finished Alive in a day and a half. I could not put that book down when I started reading it.
Dude, there's some stuff that just it hits and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Then you know why. Yeah, so that's our show, folks. We will be discussing more things, like I said. We'll be doing pre-recorded for a bit of time. Maybe we'll get to live. Depends on what's going on with life. Again, things are all over the place. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Sure. I don't know where the hell that even came from. I'll be honest with you. No idea. But on that note, any final words, brother?
Not really, brother.
All right. No. That deep ass sigh said it all. I'll be honest with you. For myself, hey, you know what? We're here. We're still standing. We're still doing our thing. Stick with us. Stay tuned with us. We're gonna still keep pushing stuff out. It's just like I said, life right now is there's good and there's bad happening right now. Again, thank you to anyone and everyone who has sent their energy, well wishes, prayers, who has messaged, text, or called or what have you. I haven't really been all that much answering calls. I'm going to be honest with you because I'm just tired. I'm weary, but I appreciate everything. For my mother, she is getting better. She's recovering. It's going to still be a bit of a road for her recovery, but every day is another day that she gets stronger, which is awesome. She will be leaving a rehab center Tuesday, so she'll be home. So she'll be good with that. That's awesome. As far as everything else, folks, look, do the best you can with what you got because it's all that you get. Wash your hands. Use lotion. As always, please use goddamn lotion and baby wipes. Fellas, don't be afraid to use baby wipes after you go number 2. Use toilet paper and then use the baby wipes. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep your ass clean. I don't understand. I don't understand people being afraid to have a clean ass. I don't understand.
Eat good food.
Bet. Eat good food and then wash your ass.
Wash your ass.
Wash your ass, baby. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it kind of reminds me of that old that clip from the Jerky Boys, who I do miss. And there was this time where they were calling this guy, and it was like, honey, come to Florida, honey. It's supposed to be his mother, and he's like, this is my mother. He's like, come to Florida, honey. And he's like, what? He's like, washing your ass, honey. Keep yourself clean, honey. It's the way he says it. It's so. I gotta go and listen to that on like YouTube. It's like, washing your ass, honey. Keep yourself clean, honey. Some of y'all are afraid. I don't know what's going on with men. Y'all afraid to have a clean ass because y'all don't want to touch your ass. Touching your ass is all right. It's your ass. Clean it. Wash your ass. Let the water separate and let the water get in there. Get them soap suds in your ass. I don't understand this, man. Y'all walk around with, Hershey Park. And y'all know. Y'all walk around with like this funky Hershey Park and like AstroTurf in your ass, and y'all don't. You got clumps of dirt and like grass growing out of your ass, and you don't care. What is wrong with y'all? Wash your ass and then put some lotion on it. I got a bunch of lotion last week. I'm good for like a few months. You ain't gonna catch me out here slipping in ashy. Bet. And it was a sale too. It was like clearance at the body shop. Say less. I had my card. I was like, I'm good. Give me it. Look. My man Boogie said you got the stuff. So I mean, so what's up? I bet. Well, I'm gonna meet you around the corner. All right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm I'm gonna give the funds to old girl here. I'm gonna go around the corner and I'm gonna talk to Bobby. Bobby gonna tell me where to go. And I'm gonna pick up the product. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
You ain't wearing a wire, are you? You ain't wearing a wire, are you? Strip butt naked. No? All right, cool. All right. I trust you. I'd have been arrested so quick. So stupid. All right, so enough of that diatribe, folks. Y'all have a good day. Enjoy the rest of it.
Yep.
Eat something tasty, and enjoy it. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. So awkward shoulder dancing is going to be on in a few seconds because it takes a while for the show to go off. So, and there is an option where we can have music on now. Y'all lucky I don't put that music on. Like, oh, I'm gonna tell. Ooh, yeah, that's it.